Hi, my name is Tally. I went to Birmingham Southern College, played soccer there as a goalkeeper. A typical week for me would be I would have practice about 3 hours each day. We would have a night game at least once a week. Saturdays would be an afternoon game, also on Sundays, either or. We usually would go on the road and have a home game each week for the most part during our season. In the spring, we would have tournaments on the weekends where we'd just do like scrimmaging and preparation for the next season in the fall. A typical practice would be spending the 3 hours on the field conditioning. Also, we'd also spend an hour or so in the weight room about 3 times a week during the season. In the off season, we would be pretty much every single day. One of the main things in college is building up your strength and being able to stay conditioned, because you are not subbed in and out as like you are in high school a lot more. You're expected to be able to go 90 minutes each game. One of the biggest challenges I had going to Birmingham Southern was the time management factor. In high school, I would play select soccer, go to softball practice, and I could multitask. Seeing high school work was not as difficult as it is in college. One of the big things with the time management issue is reading your syllabus for each of your classes due to hidden assignments that were not always mentioned by the teacher, and being able to get that done on top of doing your best at practice. Another challenge I had was in high school and select soccer, I was one of the top dogs. One of the best players, got all the playing time. But in college, it's a business. It's not just there to win. You're there to continue to be productive each season. So the coaches were not as touchy-feely as they were in high school. They pretty much ran it as a business. So if you weren't performing, you didn't play. And it wasn't your feelings that they cared about, like a lot of high school coaches will. They get the emotional factor. It was, can you produce? So the playing time, my freshman year, I was sitting the bench, and I did not like that after never sitting the bench growing up all through my younger years and playings. I had to work even harder to get the playing time. But once that happened, I had to just keep working harder to stay on top. So you couldn't slack off because there was always someone underneath you ready to take your spot. With your academics, if you didn't keep a certain grade point average, you were not allowed to play, which meant that if you started to dip, the coaches would put you into assigned study hall. So to avoid extra study hall and spending time in the library, you had to perform. For me, I am a teacher, so I was going through the teacher education program, which meant that I had to go to schools and observe and teach in other local elementary schools. So I had to balance that on top of practices and games, because my professors did not care that I was playing sports. They cared about me getting my work done. So I had to do that. I couldn't play the I'm the student athlete card. I had to be able to multitask, which in a lot of ways has helped me later on down the path of my career, being able to do time management. All right, my favorite part of being a student athlete was the traveling. For our season, every year we would go on a big trip or a big tournament to go play. I got to go to Vancouver. I was able to go to Seattle, South Dakota to see Mount Rushmore, even though there wasn't anything else exciting in South Dakota. But we were able to do a lot of traveling. Also, another cool thing was that I got to meet other players that were from different parts of the world that would come to our team. We had a few people from Iceland. We had one that came from England to play. So getting to learn about different cultures and whatnot was another kind of exciting thing. And traveling to your other teammates' houses for spring break or fall break, those were fun things that were kind of the benefits of traveling. And that was one of my strong suits. I love traveling as is now. So having a free place to stay was always great. Another kind of fun thing was in my college, the girls' soccer team was kind of one of the cool teams. So we created our own sorority in a lot of ways, and we were able to have our own little parties and hangouts with the fraternity boys. Another fun thing there. A lot of times with time management issues, we weren't always able to do all the, the fun things of college and going to this and that. But with our team, we were able to create our own family, and within our own family, we hung out together and whatnot. So my friendships from my college teammates are still strong today, and I can call them anytime that I need them. One of the other benefits of being a student athlete was not just traveling and seeing the world or places in the United States. It was also, I had a dream as a kid of playing professional baseball at first, but then I found out girls can't play baseball. But I moved on to soccer when I found out I had a talent for it, and I got the opportunity to play semi-pro soccer in North Carolina after I graduated from school. It was one of those, once-in-a-lifetime opportunities. Another great benefit I had was the ability to work as a team. It helped me have an advantage in the workplace on top of with soccer and being able to help my other teammates and goal lead the way open to being able to coach. I've had many coaching opportunities that came about from people seeing me play in college or hearing how I was able to work with younger players. Right now I'm coaching at a local high school, teaching goalkeepers how to be better goalkeepers and have the opportunity to play in college as well. One of the things with teamwork and time management that you learn as a student athlete is that it helps carry over into the workplace, because when you get a job and you have to pay taxes and all, you have to be able to be competitive and stay on top of your game so you keep the job. And I think as a student athlete, that is a benefit that we have, is we already know how to fit practice and academics together. So working multi 12-hour days or working over the weekend, it's not a big deal for us because we have had that opportunity through sports and academics. My advice that I have for you is, especially if you're a goalkeeper, your footwork is very important in college. For me, growing up, it was just, could you dive and catch the ball? In college, they're actually expecting you to have quicker feet and being able to react faster. Especially as field players, they would kind of do the same footwork training that us goalkeepers would go through. So doing ladder drills is important. Also, working out and running, not just working out where you're just doing your biceps, but also bench pressing where you have the strength, the upper body strength to hold off players coming onto you. Making sure your legs, especially your hamstrings, working your hamstrings out, because many girls have blown out their knees with just overworking their quads. Another thing I would do is, if you do sign, congratulations, number one, but number two, do the summer workout they give you, or you will be having extra morning practices to run to get yourself in shape. One of the other big things to do is making sure that you're able to do a lot of sprint work with the ball, not just without the ball, but the speed is different when you run without a ball and with a ball, and making sure that your touches are still good with your left foot and your right foot. Another thing to consider is only a few girls from your team would go on to college, and as you go and make your decision about college, it shouldn't be which team is the most successful or which team has the prettiest uniform or which one, anything that you consider there, but think about your playing time, and also think of considering your major. Many girls I know that have went to college to play soccer had to spend more years in college because they did not have the college they went to did not have the major they were looking for, so they actually had to pursue longer academics and then take out more student loans because of their school did not have the major. Also, if you consider NAIA and D1 and D2 and D3, it really, to be honest, you're playing the game. If you love the game of soccer, it would not matter where you're going all the way. But if in the D1 school, you will not probably play as a freshman unless you are like a Mia Hamm. But if you go NAIA or D2, you probably would see more playing time as a freshman and sophomore. So considering where you're playing, I mean, again, this is a business, so you need to think about where you're going to be the most successful. And I, again, would strongly urge you to remember that your major is important, because you will only play soccer for 4 years in college, and then you need to get a job. So it is important that you find the major, the thing that you love to do. And then playing soccer is a true benefit of that and helps pay for your school as well.